people at Truckstop done teamed up with the boy Mark the Mentor. Are you ready to take your trucking business to the next level? With Truckstop Pro, you get access to the best load board in the game, giving you the tools to find higher paying loads and streamline your operation. And right now, you can try the Pro plan free for 30 days, a $159 value. Click the link in the description to claim your free Pro plan and start making smarter moves for your trucking business today.
Warning: the following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults, as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say viewer discretion is advised.
Sweet.
What's going on? What's going on? How's everybody doing? Come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Let me know where you guys are checking in from. Sorry I'm late. No, I had it scheduled for 1, then pushed it back to 1:15, then 1:30. Was taking care of some business, and it happened to go a little bit longer than I thought. And I am going to make this kind of quick because I do got to hop back on the phone. And I got to take care of some more business. So I'm going to try to get this done in about an hour or less. So how's everybody doing? Come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Let me know where you guys are checking in from. Shout out to Transportation Boys. Come on in. Shout out to all the MGM members. Shout out to Sharks World, Great Polo, Manny the Driver. Shout out to all the moderators. William Sweet, Chicago's very own. Thomas Fowler, representing North Alabama. UK Hemi, what's going on? What's going on? Who else we got? Truth, what's up? Chale, what's going on? Jonathan, what's going on? Happy to deliver. What's up? What's up? What's up? Who else we got? Hollywood Slim, what's going on? Shout out to Pippi in the building. Who else we got? Who else we got? Who else we got in here? Captured by Old Studio, what's going on? Representing from New Orleans. And shout out to St. Louis. What is going on? How's everybody doing? Once again, apologize for being late. Was taking care of a little business. Today's topic is a request. This is something that has been requested a couple times by an individual called Creative Investor who subscribes to the channel. He always says, Mark, in the comment section, Mark, you got to talk about how everybody not cut out to be a business owner. You got to talk about it. Mark, tell these people they ain't cut out. Talk about not being cut out. So, Creative Investor wants me to talk about why you may not be cut out to be a business owner. So that's what we're going to talk about today. All right? All right, so come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Let me know where you guys are checking in from. All right, so I'm going to touch my bullet points, and then I'm going to get you guys up out of here. Shout out to Santana Vision. Aaron Yancey, what's going on? How's everybody doing? Make sure you guys hit that like button. I don't like this light. I don't even know how it came on. Let's see if I hold it, I'll cut it off. All right, bet. All right, so let's talk about the first thing. Topic is not everybody ain't cut out to be a boss. And that's the truth. Now, this is something that was requested. Check it out. This might be one of the ones where some feelings might get hurt. I'm just going to keep it a buck with you. This was a request. And some feelings may get hurt. You know, it may be some people out there that's running off of hope and all this stuff, and your feelings may get touched a little bit. And if your feelings get touched, that's more signs that business is probably not for you. If your feelings get touched by something another person that you don't know says, that may be a sign that it may not be for you. All right, so first thing, let's talk about the financial risk. Let's get straight into the nitty gritty. Starting a business of financial risk. A lot of people want to come into business because they saw their famous people, their favorite people, I should say, on Instagram say they should be an entrepreneur and stop working for the man, and generational wealth and all this propaganda that's being spewed over social media right now. And that's great. That's fine. All that stuff that they're saying is positive and it's great. But at the end of the day, not everybody wins. See, now this is what people have to take into consideration. Not everybody wins. And it's okay to try, all right? But you have to keep in your mind that when you try, it's a possibility that you may not succeed. And it's not to be negative, it's not to be pessimistic. That's just the truth of the matter, right? A lot of people come into this business, specifically the box truck business, with one thought in mind: success. They think automatically that they're going to run up this bag. Why do I know this? Because you hear them say it. We've seen case study after case study after case study of people come up, and it's okay to be confident. I'm not saying not be confident, but you listen, business is ran off of data, numbers. You can't run it off emotions and feelings. There's a possibility, there's 50% chance that you may fail. Now, where you land, on which 50% you land, is going to all depend on you. A lot of people that fail, they like to blame it on all this stuff. But they never go in the bathroom, cut the light on, and point in the mirror. If you want to be successful, it's up to you to steer your business to success. Now, financial risk. It's a huge financial risk. A lot of people want to come in to the business with no money or little to no money because they were told that they could start this business with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,000. Now, we've already dispelled that. We've already dispelled that because guess what? That little bit of money that you're coming in with, that you told you could come in with, if you are able to come in with that, you're not going to have no cash flow. You're not going to be able to withstand anything. I just dropped a clip of a video a couple of hours ago of a gentleman whose roof just blew off the truck. Things like that happen. That's just an incident of something that happened, something that occurred. The unforeseen happens in business. There's no such thing as starting a business and every single day throughout your tenure in business is going to be roses and rose petals and tulips and flowers and lilies and Frank Sinatra playing in the background all day. That's just not how this shit works. Shit is going to happen, all right? And you have to be prepared for it. So there's a big financial risk. Now, some people can stomach a bigger financial risk than others. You got to look at what you got to risk. You got to assess your risk tolerance, and see if business is really for you, especially depending on the type of business you're getting into. If you are a person who, let's say, has a family already, right? And you are already working in corporate America, you're working a job. You got a wife, you got 2 kids, you got a mortgage, things of that nature. Your risk tolerance may not be as high as someone who is 25, let's say, or 26 or 27, who still lives at home, who's figuring things out, but they're working a job. And while they're working this job, because they stay at home, they've been delaying their gratification and they've been saving a lot of money. They haven't left the nest yet. They don't have any kids. They can go out and try this thing and try to be great. And if they fail, they don't have the living expenses, so to speak, as someone who is already out there, mortgage, wife, kids, tuitions, all the stuff that comes along with having a family. The person with the family's risk tolerance may not be as high as the other person. And this goes back to what we talk about all the time is, everybody's journey is going to be different, right? The person who has the lower risk tolerance, because they have a family already in place and the bills that are associated with it, needs to really think this thing through. All right, we saw a lot of case studies after and during the pandemic when I came into YouTube in 2022, when things started to turn downhill for a lot of people. And I've talked to people who took out their kids' college tuition in the hopes of flipping that money into successful box truck business. That lady failed. We saw multiple people dip into their 401k, borrowed against it with the hopes that they would create this box truck business, and then took the penalty and in hopes that they were going to get this box truck business and run the bag up, right? And put that money back. Never happened. We've seen these case studies. These people were misled and believed that it was a 100% sure shot to success if they came into business because of the way things were perpetuated on the internet. But that's just not how business works. It's a 50-50 chance. It's 50-50. If you don't do what you're supposed to do to make sure that you're on the good side of the 50, then it's going to be easy for you to fall on the bad side of the 50. The bad side of the 50 is a lot more easier to obtain or get to than the good side. It's the good side, it's harder to get to that side. It's easy to fall on the bad side. There's no 100% sure shot magic potion formula for any business. Any business you get in, it's a 50-50 chance. So you got to assess your financial risk. What's your risk tolerance? Listen, just because you saw somebody say they ran it up, or just because you see somebody saying that they are running it up, don't necessarily mean, whether they telling the truth or whether they lying, don't necessarily mean that you're going to do it. And I'm not trying to be pessimistic. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm telling you this because it's the truth. So I want you to keep this information and put it in your back pocket. And depending on your risk tolerance, right, is also going to determine how far you're going to go. The person who's able to risk more may get rewarded higher, right? Because the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward, right? If you have a family and kids and everything that are associated with a family, and your risk tolerance isn't that high, but you're willing to take the risk, you may not be willing to go above and beyond as the person who has nothing to lose. And then this gets into where we talk about competition. The person who has nothing to lose, who came in at the same time that you did, is willing to risk it a little bit more. He's going to go a little bit farther. You want to come home. Why? Because you want to see your kids. You want to see your wife. You miss your kids. You miss your wife. This person ain't got nothing back at the crib to come home to. He trying to get away from the crib. That's people that I talk to in the Discord that want to get away from the crib. They don't mind staying on the road. This is the person that you're competing against. So risk tolerance is more than just the financial aspect. But the financial aspect is a big part of whether a person is going to succeed or fail. A person who can't invest more initially, right? Because they have to make sure that, you know, we heard a lot of the older guys in the testimonials say, okay, but even though they were robbing from the sustainability of the business, say, oh, we got to take care of home. We got to take care of home. That other person, they like, man, listen, I ain't got nothing back at the crib. I live with the OG. I get OG $100, $150, $200 a month, and I pay my cell phone. That's it. If I fail, I got the crib to fall back on. I ain't paying really nothing there. I can invest everything and take a bigger risk. So that's something you need to think about. And that leads to uncertainty in results. A person who does have all this family structure and costs that are associated with the family structure, it's uncertain that you're going to succeed. And see, this is where a lot of people mess up. They go withdraw their 401k. They tap into little Timmy's college tuition, right? And what happens is they don't get the success that they thought that they were going to get. And a big part of that is because they don't do what they're supposed to do. They don't do what's in their best interest, right? They don't do enough research. They don't understand the basic fundamentals of business. They don't know their cost per mile. They don't know the difference between gross and net. Some of the things that we've displayed over and over and over again on the call-in show, testimonials, and some of the other shows that I do where people tap in and they just display that they don't know these things. They don't care to know these things. And this ultimately leads to their demise. There's uncertainty in business. You can't really foresee what the road lies ahead. So you got to keep this in mind. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Hit the like button. We got 45 in here. We got 33 likes. Let's get those likes up, please. Please, let's get those likes up. So there's a lot of uncertainty in business. If you prefer stability in life and predictability, then maybe business is not for you. All right. You can forecast, but like I said, you don't know what the road lies ahead. Like anything can happen. Anything can happen. So if you like a level of stability, then you might want to think twice about business. Now here's one thing that we've showcased a multitude of time that a lot of people, I don't know why people don't understand that, being an entrepreneur requires a strong work ethic. I hear people all the time say, yo, I want to get into business because I'm tired of working. I want to work less. They think starting a business means starting a business, hiring a driver, put somebody in it, and you can go sit on the beach and do this, that, and the third. And that's far from the truth. All that stream of revenue that they was promoting, I've been telling you since day one. The first truck you get, you're going to have to get in it for a multitude of reasons, right? One, that truck is not going to be able to provide enough revenue to sustain the business, pay a driver, and provide you that life that you got in your head. That vision that you got in your head of laying on the beach or going down to Miami, laying on the beach, renting a Lamborghini, going on shopping sprees and getting the penthouse and the big house and all this, that, and the third. That's far from the truth. One truck is not going to get you that. And it's crazy to me how so many people thought that, and so many people, believe it or not, continue to think that. I have conversations with people that watch other content and they believe that one truck is going to get them this lifestyle, and that shit is far from the truth. Shit is far from the truth. Like, what do you think a box truck is going to get you $1 million a year? You think you're going to gross $1 million a year in a box truck? One truck? Listen, that's far from the truth. All right, you got to go out. You got to do the work yourself. You got to be self-motivated. I think a lot of people, that want to get into business nowadays, because what's perpetuated on the internet, they have the wrong idea what business is. And that's why they come into it wrong. They don't want to do the work. So if you don't want to do the work, you're already stepping into failure. You got to be self-motivated. Listen, no one is going to get you up. No one is going to motivate you to go do what's in your best interest. You don't have that delegation that you have when you're working a job. They tell you when to be here. They tell you when you can leave. They tell you when you can go piss and shit. Your 15-minute break. They tell you when you can take your 30-minute break. They tell you when you can take your second 15 minutes so you can go relieve yourself. And at the end of the day, check it out. Some people just need that. Some people need that level of delegation. Why? Because if they don't have someone telling them what to do, when to do it, they're not going to do it. Some people aren't self-motivated people. In order to be a successful business owner, you got to be self-motivated. You book a job. I did a day in the life video yesterday where I went out in the field. I say every once in a while I'll go out in the field just to get some infield content. Look at the first stop that I went to. That was a 17-mile run on GoShare. It was 8 boxes, paid $254. 17 miles, paid $254. It was 8 boxes. Y'all saw it. And what did you hear? The previous driver didn't show up. But people say, oh, there's no money. I can't find the money. No, it's people ain't doing what they supposed to do. You book a job, you don't even show up for the job. Why? When you don't have anyone telling you what to do and holding you accountable if you don't arrive on time or do the job to the company standards, there's, you get reprimanded, and there's you get held responsible, and you get reprimanded, and you get punished, whether it's a write-up, a final written warning, a final or a written warning, or verbal, whatever they give nowadays. When you work on job, there's someone holding that over your head, and your job is at stake. So because your job kind of hangs in the balance, that kind of motivates people to go do what's in their best interest and show up to work on time and perform the scope of the work, whatever the scope of the job, to the best ability. If you don't have that self-motivation, business ain't going to be for you. All right. If you need someone to tell you what to do, you might want to think twice. All right. Let's talk about long hours and sacrifice. So many people say, hey, man, Mark, I want to work less and enjoy life more, and the work-life balance, and this, that, and the third. Though I said it plenty of times. Listen, you start a business, box truck business, cargo van business, semi-truck business, you're going to work harder than you ever worked before in your life. Pick your hardest job you ever had. Pick your hardest job you ever worked. And guess what? That ain't going to be half of as hard as you're going to work when you work for yourself. So if you think that you are going to come into business and it's going to be just easy peasy, you're wrong. Now, if you come into business with that mind state and you carry yourself easy peasy, then that's ultimately why you're going to fail. If you're not willing to go above and beyond for your business, you're going to fall on that bad 50% side. If you're not willing to meet the needs of the business, you're going to fall on that bad 50% side. You're not going to fall on the good 50% side, which is the people who succeed. Because it's a 50-50 chance. 50% chance that you're going to succeed. It's a 50% chance that you are going to ultimately fail. I talk to these guys, and I kind of like, nitpick at these guys that want to go OTR. And I say, man, you willing to stay out 60 days? You willing to stay out 90 days? And a lot of them ain't willing to do it. Even though I have subscribers that have been out for 3 and 4 months that do have families, they understand what it takes to get ahead. The people who want to come into OTR and they're not willing to go above and beyond are the ones that are complaining now. The ones that aren't willing to meet the needs of the business are the ones that are complaining. If the business is telling you, let run, work, and you're fighting the business because you want to get home so you can see Boo Bay or whatever it is, you might want to see your family. I keep telling people, listen, the business don't care about none of that. The business don't care about none of that. All the business cares about is making money. That's it. That's all. Like, you have to be willing to sacrifice. If you work for a company, the reason why you're working for that company, because somewhere down the line, back in the day or however many years ago, depending on how long that company was around, the reason why you have that opportunity is because someone built that company and it took some sacrifice. To get to the point where they have a staff, there was some sacrifice somewhere back down the line. Same thing for you. Like, your business ain't going to build. Like, I don't know why people think the business is going to build itself. Like, why do people think that? Why do people think success comes just instantaneously? Like, the shit is going to be, you snap your fingers, poof, and success. Like, I've told you some of my good stories. I told you some bad stories. I got plenty more stories to tell. I got a lot of years of experience. That shit didn't happen overnight. I got war wounds. I got scars. I got ailments. I got all type of shit, financial losses, all different types of situations that I can talk about that happened throughout the course of the years. That it's just what business entails. Business entails ups and downs, and you have to be prepared. Sacrifice. A lot of long days. Sitting at that yard early in the morning before the sun comes up, being in that yard way after the sun goes down, staring at 4 screens. going in and out of the warehouse, looking at inventory in the warehouse, checking gas cards, making sure ain't nobody stealing fuel, helping out with payroll, sourcing other accounts, scheduling. It's everything that comes along with being a independent business owner. And guess what? All that stuff takes time. Like, I can't just cut that shit off because it's 5 o'clock and I want to go home with everybody else. The last truck is in, the office staff is gone. I just can't cut the lights on, lock up the gates, and hump in my car and go home. If there's work that still needs to be done, I have to do it. Why? Because if I continue to let work pile up, I'll never get caught up on it. My number one goal and my number one objective is to make money. That's it, and that's all. All right? Everything else comes second. God comes first, then business, then it's everything else. After God, my main objective is business, and my main goal with my main scope is to make money, and lots of it. I'm always looking for the bread. I don't care about nothing else. You could call me shallow. You could call me money hungry. You'll be telling the truth. You wouldn't be lying. Pin all them titles on me, goddammit. At the end of the day, just what it is. Why? Because it's just what it is. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what business is. You become a slave for your business. It's just no, like, I don't know why people think they not gonna work, especially if you're a small person, especially if you come from humble beginnings, if you come from environments like I come from, where you don't have nothing, you don't have these rich grandfathers with all this generational wealth, where you're getting past business down that are already turnkey, up and operational, then you got to start from nothing. You got to work your way up. Yes, there's going to be obstacles in front of you. Yes, it may be more difficult for you than some other people, but guess what? That's just the cards that entrepreneurs are dealt. There's a reason why majority of the people that start businesses fail. It's because everybody can't win. Everybody can't be an entrepreneur. And this is what people got to get in their head. If everybody was an entrepreneur, then who would be the workers? If everybody could win in entrepreneurship, then there would be no employees. There would be no workers. A lot of the things that we pay to have done are, the people that do the labor are people that work for other people. So, you have to understand that you're going to spend a lot of hours and a lot of sacrifice. And, we can get specific on sacrifice. We can get specific. I've sacrificed a lot in my come up. I've talked about the things that I've sacrificed plenty of times. Some people would rather put those things before business and success. Me personally, I didn't. All right. In hindsight, I would do the same thing all over again. It is what it is. And that's just me personally. I'm just speaking from my, experiences and my opinion. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. You could agree with it, disagree with it. To me, I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? Creative Investors been bugging me about speaking about this for a year now. So I'm talking about it today. All right. So if 40 hours, listen, if you're on your job and you're complaining about 40 hours, business ain't for you. It ain't for you. Because those 40 hours could easily turn into 80. Could easily turn into 80. All right. And I'm speaking in business in general. I'm not speaking in specific of box truck, and I'm not speaking in specific of OTR, final mile. I'm speaking in business in general. If you're not willing to burn the midnight oil and go above and beyond and have those sleepless nights and had plans and things already scheduled and planned, and then when that day comes around, you're working, you're thinking you're going to be done working by a specific time so you can go home and shower and get dressed because you had dinner reservations, you were supposed to meet with friends, guess what? The person who's not done working, that just stops working and continues to put that stuff off so they can go meet with friends, you're not going to make it. It just is what it is. I've sacrificed a lot. 2 possible marriages, kids, all to chase the bag. Would I do it all over again? Absolutely. Absolutely. Why? Because it's God, it's business, then it's everything else. Why? The business takes care of everything else. If I'm an entrepreneur, I have to make sure the business is up and operational and functional, and revenue is steady coming in so that I can take care of everything under. I don't have a job or a company that I can depend on to ensure that things are taken care of. I created the company. I sit at the helm of the company. If I lack on running the business, then guess what? Then the revenue is going to lack. And then what? I can't take care of home. So it's about priority. What holds more priority? If my business is what brings in the revenue to pay me so that I could provide a certain type of lifestyle for my family, where should the priority lie? Because when people come up to me and say, oh, well, I want to start a business so I can spend more time with family, I say, yo, how? If you're already working a job and the time that you are allowed to spend with your family now, whether you work a Monday through Friday and then you have Saturday and Sunday off, that's probably more time than you're going to spend with your family on the weekends working a job than you would be if you had your own business. So when people come up and say that, I look at them crazy because that's far from the truth, especially at the beginning when you're building. You start a business, you're going to spend less time with your family. A good business owner, and any good business owner will tell you the same thing. You're going to spend less time with your family. You're going to see your family less. You're going to work more. This is the sacrifice. Why? Because you don't have that job to depend on. You are the job. You create the business. You have to run the business to ensure that revenue comes in so that you can take care of your family. You become the boss that you worked for, that when shit all fails, when you punch out at 5, they still sitting there because they're on the salary. You become that person. So, if you value work-life balance and you need like outside motivation to be productive and all this, then it's probably not going to work for you. You have to have the ability to get up, get out, and go make shit happen. For real. If work-life balance means something to you, then man, this ain't gonna cut it. Ain't no work-life balance. What? Man, listen. I remember back in the day, I would already be home. This is before the office, before the warehouse, all that. I remember I would get calls 9, 10 at night. Already been home for an hour or two. Lit. I know it's late. My movers didn't show up. My lease is up at midnight. Is there any way you guys come move me? If I give them a premium rate and they go for it, I'm going to call 1 or 2 guys. I'm going to say, listen, I'm going to pay you this much. Can y'all come do this? I know it's little, but I'm going to give y'all this much. If they G for it, I'm gone. 9, 10 o'clock at night, I'm starting to move. Going to 2, 3 in the morning, whatever. I got to get it. I ain't turning nothing down. I swear for God on everything I love. Listen, that early me, I'm not turning nothing away. If you calling me with an opportunity for me to make some money, I'm not leaving nothing on the table. I'm going to make sure, I'm going to try the best of my ability to make sure I can make that shit happen. All right? I'm not leaving shit on the table. Nothing. If you're presenting me with an opportunity to make money, I'm not leaving that shit on the table. You got to be out your goddamn mind. Your cotton picking mind, like grandma would say. I ain't leaving nothing on the table. And that's the ambition that I think an early entrepreneur has to have. If you don't have that type of ambition, it's going to be hard for you to win, right? You're already putting yourself behind the 8 ball, and then there's competition. Whatever industry you get in, there's going to be a person who is going to be presented with that same opportunity for that same customer that's going to have the ambition that I just displayed, that I had back when I was getting started. And this is the person that's going to take you out. Your job, your main objective is to make money by any means necessary. You will one day, if you do everything that you're supposed to do at the beginning, one day, years later, be able to maybe sit back and put your feet up. But you have to earn that. And see, what I think a lot of people don't understand is that idea of starting a business so I can lay back and put my feet up. You have to earn that. You have to earn that. You got to earn that. That's a word I'm looking for. I just can't think of it right now. You got to earn that luxury. That's what I was looking for. You have to earn that luxury. That's a luxury. That's not given to you just because you went to your Secretary of State and you got your little LLC and your little EIN number. You got your little MC. Notice I say little. You know, when we say little from the crib, you know what that means. You know, got your little MC number, your little DOT number, your little MC number, and you think you doing something. You ain't did shit. That luxury that you think you're going to get with your feet up in there, you got to earn that, pimp. That shit don't come off back. It ain't off back. And I know they perpetuated it to you like that and you was misled, but I'm here to tell you it ain't like that, pimp. You got to put that work in. Sorry. All right. Let's talk about the financial management part of it now. All right. All right. So you got people, they get the box truck business, and this is where we talk about robbing from the sustainability of the business. You know, when you're running a business and you sit at the helm of the business, you're responsible for the finances. Now, you may come in, you may be making some money. We saw a lot of people come in during 2021, 2020, whatever, and they were making money hand over fist. They couldn't do nothing wrong. They could run dumb and blind and they was going to make money back in them times. And that's why a lot of people got messed up and thought it was sweet. All right, but there's a level of responsibility that comes with making that type of money. You have to manage that money properly, right? You're running a business. You have to make sure the business is cash flow positive so that the business can sustain. You have to make sure that you're paying yourself a fair amount, not what you think you should make, right? Because you need money in the kitty for the business to sustain. And you're not supposed to misappropriate funds, right? You're not supposed to misappropriate funds. You're not supposed to commingle funds. There's a lot of people that commingle funds. We see it all the time on the call-in show. They pay their personal bills from the business bank account. They commingle funds. They say it all the time. And they know they're wrong. The reason why this happens, the reason why this occurs is because the business isn't bringing enough money in for the business to sustain and their personal living expenses. To be able to sustain their personal living expenses. Now, this is something that should have been thought about or factored in prior to coming into business. Now, there's some people that come into business and then they start making money, and this is the most money that they've ever made in their lifetime, right? You got a person who goes to work a week or two, they may bring home a $1,500 check in 2 weeks, but now you get into a box truck business, you run your first load may pay you $1,500, and you did that in 24 hours. But you don't know your cost per mile. You're not factoring in your costs. You're not factoring in what the road lies ahead. You're not paying yourself properly. You're just whatever you paid to get that load, the fuel, blah, 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 whatever else, whatever's left over. You already zelling your baby mama back at the crib. You zelling your mama. You paying your cell phone bill with that money, and you picking the load off the load board. You ain't
doing no due diligence to see if that load is actually worth it for you, because you don't know your cost per mile. You don't even know what that is. You just picking it because you see it's going from here to there and you see 1,200. And to you, 1,200 is a lot because the way you thinking about it, it is, man, I went to work. When I worked for the plant, my checks was 1,200. You mean to tell me I could drive and make 1,200 just driving from here to there? You don't even know about if you're taking a loss to make that 1,200. You just see 1,200 and you're going to get it in a day or two. Because before, it used to take you 2 weeks to get 1,200. And this is why people get messed up. And then they get that money and then they manage it wrong. They don't handle their taxes. We had somebody come up a month ago, 4 years in business, ain't paid no taxes. 4 years in business, ain't paid no taxes. It's in the content. This ain't me. This is people clicking the link and coming up saying this shit. Don't understand cash flow. Never understood what it was until they found my channel. Why? Because the money that's coming in, they're pushing it right back out, but they're not pushing it right back out and reappropriating it back into the business. They're pushing it out into personal lifestyle things. So now when an unforeseen situation occurs, like you saw in the video that was released a few hours ago, it's no money. Because they don't think things are going to happen. They don't think shit happens. You're driving a man-made vehicle. Hit the like button. I don't like them likes. Hit the like button. That vehicle was man-made. It's a workhorse. It's eventually going to fail, right? Something on that vehicle is going to fail. A part is going to fail. It's inevitable. It's going to work until it fails. It's just like when you go to the gym. Shout out to all my people who go to the gym. You can do a set of 10, or you can just keep pumping until you fail. And for people that don't know what fail means, if you're bench pressing, you keep pressing until your muscle fails. You have a spotter and you keep going. You go past 10, you hit 11, 12, 13, 14. Now it's getting tougher. 14, 15, 16, push it. 17, 18. The spotter grabs it and racks it. You kept repping until you fail, until your muscles failed. That's how your box truck is. It's going to keep rolling. When you go get your PM, there's certain things that they don't check. There's certain things that you might not get a noise or a signal to know that it's about to fail. Some things are just going to fail. They're going to keep going. You're going to keep driving that vehicle until something fails. And then what? All the money that you had coming in because you've been mismanaging your money, because you're running the business, but you treating it like a hustle. But you saying on your Instagram, box truck business, hashtag owner, business owner alert, hashtag business owner alert. But the inner workings of your business, you running it piss poor. Now, when something happens, you got a sad story about how the industry is trash and this, that, and the third, and But whole time, you just ain't got no cash flow. You broke as hell. You broke as hell, but you got a few pair of Dior's in your closet. You got a few pair of Louis Vuittons. You got you a moose knuckle coat, right? Got you a moose knuckle coat. You got your Hellcat. They finna come get that too. Don't worry about it. They finna come get that. You got your Hellcat. What else you got? Your covered. You got some shit in your cover. You got some 1942. You got some Azul, and you got some Azul. You got a lot of little things, right? A lot of little things that the money that was coming in, you put it out and you spent it on personal trinkets. But you didn't reappropriate anything back into the business. Listen,
If you know you're not good with money, if you've been fumbling the bag all your life, if you work a job and you've been fumbling the bag, meaning you go to work, you get paid every 2 weeks, you go to work and you try to flip your money, taking it to the boat or to the casino, trying to flip it, or you gambling, shooting dice, or you just doing things instead of doing what you're supposed to be doing, paying your bills, you get the money and you go jag it off at the club or the strip club, and then you wake up the next being like, man, I messed up again, man. I blew my check, boy. I got rent to pay. You ain't gonna be successful in business. You got to go get your life together first, big dog. Listen, somebody asked me to do this. This wasn't in my to-do list. This was not in my to-do list. Somebody asked me to do this. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. All right, let's talk about sales and marketing. People have to find you. People have to know your business exists. I think a lot of people rely on, in trucking, just, the load board and 3PL companies, things of that nature. And that's fine. But on my trucking side of the business, my final mile company, I had a website. I marketed myself. I made sure some of my trucks were wrapped. You guys saw that in the montage live stream I did. I made sure some of my trucks were wrapped to get that type of marketing. Vans. And I marketed to a specific demographic of people. Same thing on my moving side. I talked about it in that montage video where I showed one of my wrapped vehicles, how I had a white guy on the van, and like my employees and people, and just people I know would be like, why would you put a white guy and use a white guy for marketing? And they just didn't understand. I'm targeting a specific demographic. I know who's spending the money. I'm in business to make money. I'm not in business to be a blackety black. I can be a blackety black on my personal time. But when it comes to making that money, I got to target the people that's finna spend that bag. You can feel how you want to feel. I don't care. On my personal time, fight the power. Fight the power. Listen, we're going to play Public Enemy. We're going to play Self-Destruction. We're headed for self-destruction. I'm going to play all that. On my personal time, listen, I'm going to put the black glove on. I'm telling you, we're going to fight the power. Listen, we're going to march. We're going to march. We're going to stand up for racial injustice. We're going to do all of that on the personal side. On the business side, listen, I'm marketing to who's spending that bag. You can hit the like button. I'm marketing to who's spending that bag. Don't come telling me why I didn't put no black people on my wrapped vehicles, because they not spending the bag. Not in this industry that I'm in. The houses that my trucking company for Final Mile was delivering to, they didn't look like me. And these is facts. When people would call my moving company, they call that 1-800 number. Guess what? They didn't look like me. And when they called, and the people that called that did look like me, when we gave them the quote, you know what they ended up doing? They ended up coming still to my yard and renting a U-Haul truck. They just got Man and Pookie and all of them and phone them, and they just did it themselves. These is facts. I got the U-Haul, and I was a U-Haul dealer. My U-Haul dealership at my yard, I did $250,000 my first year being a U-Haul dealer. $250,000 gross revenue, and we got a 15% commission on that. That's what U-Haul pays as commission. We get a 15% commission on all the in-towns. We get a higher commission on the one-way rentals, and then we get a little bit higher commission on all the add-ins if they rent a dolly and shit like that. But on the in-town rentals, I got 15% commission. I think it was 25% on the one-ways, and then like 30% on all like the dollies and the boxes and shit like that. But in the hood, they rent U-Haul trucks. They not finna pay Mark Company $200 an hour. Is you crazy? Hell no, they wasn't finna do that. You know who did though? So you got people, and I'm keeping it a buck. You got to know how to play the game. Black people, you want to start businesses where a majority of your consumer base doesn't look like you, but you want to champion the fact that, and then you wonder why your sales ain't up. Because you so busy worried about being a blackety black in business. And I know this man, listen, I'm just keeping it a buck with you. If it hurts your feelings, then we're going to get into the emotional part of the live stream in a second. Just be patient. Wait for me. Wait for me now. It's facts. You have to know. What did I tell you last week? Business is about data. It's not about feelings. You have to know your target audience. You have to know your consumer. Once you know your consumer, then that's who you market it to. That's who you market to. If I was selling something that was targeted towards African Americans, I don't have to get into giving you examples of what we see in our communities, then my marketing would reflect that. Am I lying or what? Because I'm telling you what it is. Don't get mad at the messenger. Business is about data. Why would I go when I see that 80-90% of the homes that we're going to on both sides of the business are in specific communities of specific demographics? Why would I market the company towards a demographic that ain't spending the money on what our business entails around? So the point that I'm trying to make is marketing. Like I see so many businesses that, it's good to, be happy of your heritage and shit like that, but you got to know your industry and you got to know your customer. And that's just the bottom line. All right, let's talk about leadership and management. Some people just ain't good leaders, man. Some people don't know how to be a leader. Some people don't know how to deal with multiple personalities. If you plan on scaling and growing your business, you're going to have to deal with people. You're going to have to learn how to manipulate people into doing what you want them to do. And the word is the word, manipulate, but it's true. You're going to be working with people of different personalities every single day. A lot of people that work jobs complain. So you're not going to be exempt from having employees that are going to complain every single day about some of the most dumbest shit known to man. But you have to figure out a way to still manipulate them into doing what it is, whatever the scope of their job is. Man, Mark, man, that's a third to a third, man. God damn, Mark, God damn, we did a third to a third yesterday. Why you can't give it to another crew? Look, man, listen in. Didn't you just ask me for a raise? Yeah, I did. Did I give it to you? All right, man, you one of my top guys. All right, I give you the jobs that are challenging because you're making the top money. Also, I'm putting you on these jobs because this is a specific customer, and I'm telling you, these customers are going to reward you better than these customers. I could put you over on the truck that's going to Hyde Park. They doing University of Chicago moves, student moves all day. And you know them students over there, they broke. They ain't going to tip you. You want to go to Lincoln Park or you want to go to Hyde Park? You want to go to Lincoln Park with the 3-4 story mansion, or you want to go to Hyde Park and move to broke college student? Which one you want to do? You right, Mark. You right. Yeah, man, because they don't be tipping over in Hyde Park, man. Them college students is broke. You got to know how to finesse the situation to get people to calm down, boost the morale up, and get the job done. Not everybody got that skill set. And some people just have it. Some people grow to have it or learn to have it, or eventually, just, over time, they just gain that skill set. And some people don't. At the end of the day, as an owner, it's your job to make money and make shit happen. All right? So you have to be a good leader and a good manager. Every day I would come to work dressed. I wouldn't come to work like I wasn't prepared to get on a truck. I came to work every day, Red Wings, blue khakis, blue uniform shirt, dressed and ready to go. Even just to sit in the office. But it showed people that I'm ready. Listen, I don't care. I'm ready to go. I'm with whatever. All right. That's a good leader. A good leader is willing to do the job that you pay people to do. A good leader isn't too good to get his hands dirty. People will respect you more. Like Young Blood a few weeks ago in that clip, he just want to go rent 3 trucks, no money, and just push people out there. Ain't nobody gonna respect you, because the moment they find out you don't know what the hell you doing, you don't have no experience, they're gonna take advantage of you. You're the person that you want your employees to call to help guide them out of situations or guide them around situations. The moment they call you and you dumbfounded because you don't know, the moment you lost control of your company. You have to be able to develop these skills if you don't have them, so that you could be a good owner. A lot of people fail because they're not good leaders. A lot of people fail because they just lack management skills. And I'm in the trenches. With it. So, me managing the people that I've had to manage throughout my course, listen, I'm talking about every single day it was something. I'm in the trenches with it. Some people may not have to develop the skill set level that I would have to display day in and day out, dealing with the type of people that I've had to deal with. Depending on where you're at in the country, you may not have to deal with a certain type of mindset or a certain type of demographic in a certain type of setting, and so on and so forth. My skill set is just cold because of the challenges of the people that I've had to deal with based on the environment I come from, being in Chicago. If you somewhere in middle America or in a more moderate city or whatever, you may not have to go through a lot of this shit. You know what I'm saying? So, but you have to be a good leader. You have to be a good manager. You have to know how to finesse people into doing what it is you need them to do, because at the end of the day, your main objective is to make money and get the job done. All right, let's talk about failure and rejection. Emotional resilience. Listen, if you have a hard time dealing with rejection, if you have a hard time dealing with failure, if you have a hard time handling criticism, entrepreneurship is going to be tough for you, man. Entrepreneurship is going to be tough for you. Entrepreneurship, you're going to feel like the weight of the world is on your chest. Johnny Deal says, Cap, anybody can be a boss if you put, check this out. I guess didn't I say that shit when I became on? I hate how motherfuckers just come in the middle of the live stream and say dumb shit. So you know what we're going to do? Johnny Deals, go ahead and click that link, pimp. You come in the middle of the live stream, and I started the live stream saying, listen, it's a 50% chance you're going to make it. It's a 50% chance you're going to fail. The 50% chance of making it all depends on the people who work. So why don't you hit the link and come up here and substantiate what you saying, because I said this shit when I first led. If you come in the middle of a live stream and you catch a bullet point and the bullet point rubs you the wrong way, maybe you should go start from the beginning instead of coming in here with all this bullshit. I ain't for none of that shit. Stop coming in here in the middle of the live stream getting in your feelings because you came in halfway through the middle and I'm hitting on the topic. All right, well then check this out, pimp. Don't come in here halfway through the live stream in your feelings, because I said that shit at the beginning. I led the live stream saying, listen, it's a 50% chance you're going to make it. It's a 50% chance you're going to fail. 50% of the people who make it is the people who put in the work. Motherfucker coming here with all this goofy shit. Exactly. You working right now. Keep working. All right. Emotional resilience. If you can't handle constructive criticism, well, man, entrepreneurship going to take a toll on you. Entrepreneurship, you're going to always feel like you got a ton of bricks just sitting on your shoulder, especially when you scale. The bigger you get, the more people you got to deal with, it's just going to feel like you got more bricks and more bricks and more bricks and more bricks and more bricks. Why? Because you're getting pulled in multiple different directions all day. You know, managing one truck, managing 2 trucks is going to be twice as difficult. Managing 3 is going to be 3 times. 4 trucks is going to be quadruple. So on and so forth. More people you get, the more personalities you got to deal with. When you become an owner, you're dealing with people and their personal struggles. Like, man, people going to want to pull you to the side and talk about issues that's affecting their work at home. You're going to get those calls late at night. You're going to get people asking for advances on their pay, this, that, and the third. You're going to deal with failure. You may catch criticism. People may challenge your the way you do business, right? You may get challenged, and that may come from people outside of the business, your family. Well, you should do this, or you should do that, or why you put that white man on your truck? Shit like that. Or criticism from people that work for you. You may get criticism from people that work for you. Man, these blankets too heavy. Why don't you get the lighter blankets? Or man, we tired of listening to the radio, man. You should put a CD player in the trucks. Just shit like that, bro. Like, it could be as simple as that. It could be more complicated than that. The fact of the matter is, you're going to get shit thrown at you because you sit at the helm. You sit at the top. Everything comes up to you. And if you can't handle that shit, then it may not be for you. You know what I'm saying? Persistence. Like I said about 20 minutes ago, success doesn't come quick. And a lot of people, because they were sold this dream that, you know, you get a box truck, you make $1 gazillion, they think that as soon as they get the truck, the money is going to roll in. Get the truck, get on a load board, start making thousands of dollars. No, man, you got to be persistent. You got to put the work in. It takes time. It takes persistence. It takes sacrifice. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of effort. And if you're not resilient, and if you're not willing to, you know, face different failures and different obstacles, then it's going to be tough. I told this story before, but I know I got a lot of new subscribers. I remember when two situations always stand out to me because they were 2 big situations. The first time I ever had a truck roofed, I remember it like it was yesterday, right? This was one of the first major encounters I had to deal with, and I had to face it head on. Like, I couldn't mope and complain and whine and cry about it. I didn't have time for that. I had to rectify the situation immediately. All right. The second biggest thing is when the guy backed into the dock and wasn't paying attention to the clearance and the whole awning came down. The third is the accident where I got sued. And mind you, that truck had just left the yard. It was full. It was headed to do a drop, right? It was a pod drop off. The pod got delivered to my warehouse. Um, I had a crew back the truck to the pod door. They transferred the stuff off the pod into the truck, and they were headed to deliver those household good items to the customer. And that truck got into an accident. Like, I couldn't complain and mope and shit like that. I had to spring into action. All right, the truck is in an accident. It can't finish the job. I need that truck after the police report is done and everything is done. I need that truck to come back to the yard. I need that truck to back into another truck, right? I need that stuff taken off that truck, put on another truck, and I still need that job done. We got to call that customer and let them know that there's a delay. Truck is going to be running a couple hours late. I got to deal with the backlash of the customer because they were expecting that shit at a specific time. They're going to get it that same day. It's just going to be a few hours late now. You got to deal with that. All right, I got shit to do. Like, just because that truck got into an accident, ain't no time to get all sad and emotional and shit like that. Yo, all right, now I got to spring into action. Shit got to get done. It's just what it is, man. Like, I think a lot of people are emotional when it comes to business, and you can't be. So if you can't take constructive criticism, if you have a hard time dealing with failure, and I'm not speaking in overall failure as far as the business failing, I'm speaking of just small little fails within your tenure of running your business. You're going to have small little wins and you're going to have small little failures. I think a truck getting roofed is a small failure. I think an accident is a small failure. Those incidents are small failures. If a guy scratches a floor, that's a small failure. So if you have a hard time dealing with criticism, you have a hard time dealing with failure, you have a hard time dealing with rejection, you're not getting an account. For whatever reason, whether they don't want to give it to you or whether you just don't meet the requirements that they're asking for. You know what I'm saying? If you have a hard time dealing with this, a lot of guys that come into business that run OTR, they have to deal with rejection a lot initially because a lot of the brokers don't want to deal with you because your authority is too new. And we see them come up on the show all the time and, they got that, man, don't nobody want to work with me. This is where your perseverance comes in at. This is where your resilience comes in at. This is why you have to make sure you have cash flow because you have to withstand this time period if that's the lane that you want to get into. Like, no one's going to feel bad for you because things aren't working out for you. 9 times out of 10, everyone that's appeared in the space has had to go through these things as well. So I'm not here because this was someone asked me to do this, creative investor, shout out to creative investor, to do this. I'm not, listen, and this may be what Buddy ass coming in here tweaking for with his tweaking ass.
You tweaking.
Everybody want all the good shit. Good shit is good shit. Knowing the shit that lays ahead, knowing some of the bad shit that could come and being prepared for it, knowing how to avoid it altogether or maneuver around it, when it hits you is what's going to save you. If everything is good, then shit is good. Life is good. Shit is great. If it's not broke, don't fix it. A lot of dumb money came into this industry during the pandemic, and they made a lot of money. You know what really told if they was really cut for this or if they was really smart and really understood business? When shit started to correct itself. When shit started to correct itself, that told the tale. Everybody was making money in 2021. You could be the dumbest of the dumb. It didn't matter. The rates would get you through it. Everybody was making money hand over fist. You didn't have to know your cost per mile. People didn't know their cost per mile. People didn't know which way was north. People didn't know which way was south. I talked to somebody that thought Chicago. What episode would that dude say he thought Chicago was a state? He didn't even know Chicago was a city. He thought it was a state. These are the type of people that was coming into this industry during that time period. If you came in during that period, you could be a goddamn fool. You was going to survive. And as soon as the tide turned, things started to correct themselves, that told the tale. I'm not going to sit up here and give you all the shit that they giving you. The reason why they tell you all the positive shit is because they want you to buy into whatever it is they selling. A lot of them don't have the experiences that I had to sit up and tell you what it's like to get a roof tore off, what it's like for a goddamn whole dock awning to come down, what it's like to be sued in business, what it's like to run a fleet of trucks, what it's like to cross dock and have a warehouse. They can't tell you this shit. And it's not a knock, it's just facts, right? All right, so there's a lot that comes with business, and everything ain't peaches and cream. It's not rosy. Every day isn't rosy. Every day isn't flowers. You don't hear Frank Sinatra singing New York, New York, or whatever the hell the song is he sings. You don't hear that shit. You don't see flowers growing and all this shit. Every day is not peaches and cream. You're going to have some dark days in business. And the people who can withstand the dark days is the people who going to win. Once again, if everything is good, what's broke don't need to be. If it's not broken, it don't need to be fixed. Just keep rolling. If everybody sat here and talked about all the good shit, well, what happens when you need to maneuver around something? What do we do then? So to that guy, if you want peaches and creams and lilies and daisies, man, this ain't the channel for you, big dog. I'm going to give you both. Let's talk about isolation, man. It's lonely at the top. On the way up there, it's lonely too. You have to remove yourself from people that don't have your best interest. You're going to purposely remove yourself away from people because you're going to spend a lot of your time working. Like, you're not going to have time to fraternize and network and commingle and hang out and do a lot of the things that you were once doing because you're too busy building. A lot of your initial early days are going to be building your company. You're not going to have that time, right? So another thing where I had to deal with is lack of support, right? And this is another reason why I say I always like to, continue to put out content and make myself available somewhat for people to talk to, because in my early days, I didn't have the support. I didn't have anybody in my family that was entrepreneurial, no one from my neighborhood. So I had to figure a lot of stuff out on my own. So like, people in my family didn't really understand what I was doing. And I was faced with a lot of criticism, right? I was told by one of my good friends it wasn't going to work. I remember him specifically saying, listen, it's a lot of white-owned companies that are generational companies in this city. What are you going to do to make your company stand out that these people is not going to come to you or go to you? Why you think they're not going to go to them? Or why you think they're going to come to you and not go to them? I said, well, there's plenty of opportunity. I'm targeting a specific demographic, and I'm just going to keep going. Everything is fine here. So I don't see if when I transition into getting a license, why I wouldn't continue to go up. I'm still friends with him, and he admitted that he was absolutely wrong. He didn't believe. If I would have allowed that, I wouldn't even call it negativity. If I would have just allowed that criticism to stop me, I wouldn't be here today. Now, not all criticism is necessarily bad. There's criticism that you may want to take heed to. And it's up to you as an individual to weigh that criticism appropriately, right? Because at the end of the day, it's a 50% chance that you're going to succeed. It's a 50% chance you're going to fail. Not everybody wins. Even though someone in here thinks everybody is going to win, listen, you're not. Everybody's not going to win. If everybody won, then there would be nobody to do the things that we need them to do. that aren't entrepreneurs. That's just a fact. It may sound negative, it may sound pessimistic, but in order for you to win, you have to do what you're supposed to do. You have to do what's in your best interest. All right. So listening to my homie back then, but understanding business and understanding where I was at that point and how I could just leverage where I was at by getting a license, getting a truck, and just continuing to go on, I knew that he wasn't right. I already had a good thing going. So I took the information, I pondered on it, but it didn't fit my situation at that particular time. And he just didn't really understand because he's not an entrepreneur. So you may have a lack of support at the beginning, and that's fine. I didn't have any support. Well, my OG, that's about it. She let me stay at the crib, and I could reappropriate all the money back into the business. But other than that, financially and, mentorship wise, I didn't have anybody I could talk to. And that can be wearing on people because you're going to hit certain roadblocks in your journey as you continue to grow. And I'm just speaking from my personal experience. I know a lot of people get in their feelings about shit, and everybody comes from different walks of life. Why do people get so caught in their feelings and so emotional, and then when you tell them to hit the link, they don't want to hit the link? You see what I'm saying? Everybody's journey is going to be different, and some people who come from certain walks of life, you may not have that support that a lot of other people may have. You have to work through that. You have to overcome that, and you have to work harder, but you can make it. You can absolutely 100% positively make it. But you have to do what's in your best interest. You got to know what it costs to run your business. If you're running middle mile, you got to know your cost per mile. You have to manage the money that's coming in appropriately. You can't mismanage the money. You have to make sure the business can sustain. It has to have cash flow. You can't rob from the sustainability of the business. You have to be willing to sacrifice all those social interactions that you're accustomed to. If you're a social person, you're going to have to, you're not going to be able to, participate in a lot of social events because you're going to spend a majority of your time working because you're sacrificing for the betterment of the business. All right, let's talk about passion, because I think a lot of people get passion misconstrued with emotion. All right. It's okay to be passionate. It's horrible to be emotional when it comes to business. These are my opinion. I don't think you should run a business off emotions. Passion is okay. Emotional, no. Emotional, you're going to make bad decisions because you're basing your decisions based off how you feel. You're basing your decisions based off how you feel. And in some ways that may be good, but in a lot of ways that may be bad. All right. So it's okay to be passionate because passionate, it brings perseverance, right? And that'll help you get through some of the dark times in your business, but don't misconstrue passion and emotion. All right. Vision. I think one good character trait of an entrepreneur, and why one entrepreneur may go further than the next entrepreneur, is vision. Like, I think you have to have a vision prior to even starting a business. And I think once you get into business, your vision may alter, and you may go from having visions of where you want your business to go to becoming a visionary. I think a dope business person is a person who can see what the road lies ahead. I think dope entrepreneurs see opportunities that others don't see. Um, and that doesn't necessarily have to be in trucking. Like, that could be in investment, that could be in real estate, that can be in a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? You have to, when some people, and I say this all the time, when there's blood in the streets, there's opportunity. And a good person sees and looks for the opportunities in economic downturns. All right. When there's an economic downturn, to me, I look at it as an opportunity. All right. Everybody's selling. Now things are cheap. I can buy and hold. All right. This is why you make sure you have cash on hand, so that when things are going good, you already know eventually things are going to go bad. So you're stockpiling your money, you're stockpiling your money, you're stockpiling your money. So when things go bust, you can buy in cheap, right? And then you can ride that back up to the top. You can sell, wash, rinse, and repeat. All right. You have to see the opportunity. I saw the opportunity in 2021, right? The opportunity that some people were looking at, it was a different opportunity for me. Why? Because I saw what the road lied ahead. I knew that what was going on at that particular time wasn't sustainable. I knew it wasn't going to last forever. I knew eventually that things weren't going to ever go back to the way they were. So I made a decision, and it was a great decision. You know, I buy things, I buy investments when people are selling. When things are bad, I'm looking to buy, because I see what lies ahead. I'm looking at the future. I'm not living currently. Like, I say this all the time. Like, you want to be 5-6 months ahead. Like, the current time we're living in, mentally, I lived in September 5-6 months ago. Mentally, I'm planning for beginning of next year. This is how you stay ahead. This is how you stay sharp. This is how you don't get caught left holding the bag. You want to be ahead. You want to be an early adopter. You want to know where the opportunity lies before everybody else does. Why? Because when everybody else comes in, the real money already been made. When people start rushing into something, it's too late. If you're rushing into something because everybody rushing into it, you follow trends. And people who make money aren't people who follow trends. And I think that's it. You know, like I said, this is something that Creative Investor wanted me to do. And as you see, a lot of people don't like these real harsh talks. They come in, they leave out. They come in, they say things, right, without understanding the full context, because they think everything is peaches and cream in life. Life ain't peaches and cream. We've all had some tumultuous, probably, situations. Everyone has had some type of hardship in life. Business is no different. All right. Just like you prepare for things in life, which is why you have health insurance, which is why you have life insurance, which is why you have homeowners insurance, which is why you have rental insurance, which is why you have automobile insurance, which is why for your business you have commercial general liability coverage, which is why you have commercial auto, cargo, you have workers' comp. All these things are things that are put in place in case of the what if. There's a bunch of what ifs in life. There's a bunch of what ifs in business. You have to be prepared for them. All right. And not everybody's going to make it. Not everybody's going to win. So, all right, let's see here. me see. Born Hustle said the reality is the majority of people have too much overhead. I agree. I think a lot of people nowadays that come into business have too much overhead. Let's see. Shout out to William Vega. Ain't seen you in a minute. And once again, these are just my thoughts. You know, like I said, creative investor asked me to talk about it. You may feel different. You know, some of the stuff I talk worked for me. It may not work for everybody else. But I think in general, my ideals on entrepreneurship, as far as just the basic context of it, of, you know, hard work, sacrifice, perseverance, a lot more sacrifice, managing your business correctly, managing your finances correctly. I think if you do all these things properly, I think you will see a level of success. Listen, man, there's so many people out there that'll give you a false sense of reality when it comes to business. But it is what it is. So, all right, I'm out.